For the fourth consecutive year, eighth time in program history, Oklahoma has done it. Oklahoma is the champions of the college softball world. Oh my goodness. Tyler McComas, Diamond Envy podcast. And of course, I'm streaming on YouTube Live right now. And unbelievable. So much to unpack from tonight. I can't wait to see everyone's comments roll here on YouTube Live. But let's just start here. OU threw five pitchers tonight. Five pitchers tonight in the championship series, which is the most in championship series history. People were, what is Carly Keeney doing in the circle? What are they doing bringing in Peyton Monticelli in this spot? What's going on? Patty knows best. Patty does it again. Fourth consecutive championship. Can you believe it? Oklahoma. Oh, my goodness. A run for the ages. A run that will never be replicated again, in my opinion, in college softball history. Another unbelievable night for Sooner fans as the celebration, as I'm watching it right now, is ongoing in Oklahoma City. Incredible. Already got comments rolling in. There's a big boomer rolling in. Just so many things to digest from this game and get underway. My man Brian Kelly wins most outstanding player. Yeah. I mean, where do you even start tonight? You know, you got down early in this game. It was 1-0 Texas, but you stormed all the way back. Just another fantastic offensive night from this OU lineup. Just a fantastic night from this OU lineup. You needed them. You needed them to produce at a high level, and you got them to once again. You eventually jumped on Mac Morgan a little bit. Cassidy Pickering is a star in the making. She's probably going to be all-tournament team by the time it's said and done. But Oklahoma has won another national championship. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. I did not think, guys, that Carly Keeney was going to start this game tonight. In no way. I mean, I would have bet a lot of money on Nicole May or Kirsten Deal or even Kelly Maxwell as the three most likely candidates to get a start tonight. I think most of us were wrong. I don't think really anyone saw Carly Keeney getting the start tonight, but all things considered, guys, she pitched really well in that spot. She pitched extremely well. And think about this. Like, OU pitched five pitchers tonight in this game. One hadn't started a game in over a month. The other had barely seen any action in 2 months. Then you go with Kirsten Deal, Nicole May, Kelly Maxwell closes it out. I mean, I did not think that it was going to go that way in the circle tonight, but Patty knows best. Patty knows best. And let's go back to something that we've said consistently throughout this week is whoever you start and whatever you do, the offense can maybe make you look right. Like whatever happens, the offense can end up making you look right because they have such a big-time offensive night. And that's what happened. That's what happened. The offense made you look right tonight with the decisions that you made in the circle. And I know that there are points in this game where people were going, well, wait, what's Patty doing here? Well, what's Patty doing bringing in Peyton Monticelli? We haven't seen her in a long time, but she got the big out, and then you go to Kirsten Deal. It just all worked out. Of course it's all going to work out. It's Patty Gasso, right? It was always going to work out. But just amazing. Just absolutely amazing the way that it should be for those fourth-year seniors to go out on top. I mean, look, it's the greatest class in OU softball history. It's arguably the greatest class in OU athletics history. I mean, just special. A class that we're going to be talking about for a long time, a class that we're always going to look back on, in my opinion, and say that's the best to ever do it at OU. They came in and won a national championship. They left winning a national championship. All that group did was win national championships at Oklahoma, and so many of those players had valuable roles in tonight's game. Unbelievable. Okay. Brian says KP7. Yeah, she was fantastic tonight. 2-run bomb. That one wasn't getting robbed because Cassidy Pickering hit that one a ton tonight. Unbelievable. Gunny says, go hit that like button and yell the word history, boys and girls. Hit that like button, please. Not the butting. No like butting around here. Like button, please. And yeah, like and subscribe if you haven't already. I'm watching Nicole May right now. I'm deeply saddened by her departure, but so grateful for being a Sooner. Yeah, give me like 30 minutes before I get there emotionally. to realize that this class that we just watched is never going to wear an OU uniform again, at least in a regular season game, right? Like, give me 30 minutes and we'll get there towards the end of the stream. But right now, I'm just on cloud nine like the rest of you. They did it. They did it. All the doubt, all the doubt. And I'm not trying to make anyone feel bad for things that were said throughout the course of the regular season. The head coach even said at times during the regular season, this team isn't good enough right now to win a national championship. And to be fair, a month and a half ago, they weren't good enough to win a national championship. But guess what happened? What always happens in this tournament? OU always finds a way. They always find a way in the Women's College World Series to play their best softball. And that's what happened. All the doubts about the pitching staff, all the doubts about the offense, all the concerns with just different things of this team, they always find a way to play their best in this tournament. And it's why they just won their fourth consecutive national championship. Fourth consecutive national championship, guys. I don't think I have to tell you not to take it for granted. But how special that is, it's just amazing. Lady George says, Boone. God, I mean, what kind of night did Riley Boone have tonight? Was that not incredible? And don't you love when she gets on first base and it felt like she got a hit or got on base somehow every single at-bat tonight? She's like, come on. She's telling the crowd, like, let's get those Boone chants going on right now, Man, just an incredible night. The way that it was supposed to be a storybook ending, and it was a storybook ending tonight. And I know Patty's going to get super emotional at the podium later on tonight. Just expect that. Expect that to cry when you see Patty Gasso up there crying. But the last ever game that Oklahoma will play as a member of the Big 12 Conference ends in a national championship. So you are legitimately saying, peace, see ya, on your way out with a championship. And a historic championship as well. This isn't no ordinary championship. This is the program's 8th national championship and the 4th consecutive. Just a fun night. Fun night. Jerry says it was an ugly fight, but the glory is always good. Yeah, you feel good. Feel good tonight, that's for sure. Jessica says Kelly Maxwell, most outstanding player. I thought that was going to happen if OU won the game and if Kelly Maxwell either got the win or the save. And look, no one is going to, and no one should argue with that, because Kelly Maxwell was the biggest reason why this team got over the hump and won the championship. Because there were so many people that questioned the pitching going into this thing. OU just doesn't have a Jordy Ball. They don't have the pitching staff like they've had in previous years. And that's still true right now. But guess what? None of that matters because Kelly Maxwell was electric. She was elite when she had to be. And ever since, that Thursday game against Duke a week ago, she turned it on and she was the most outstanding player. Guys, think about that. And think about how quickly things changed for Kelly Maxwell. Because a week ago tonight, there was a lot of doubt with the fan base about where Kelly Maxwell was at, how much you should trust her moving forward, who should be your starting pitcher against UCLA. There was some legitimate doubt and some legitimate concern with Kelly Maxwell 1 week ago today. And what if I would have sat here on a live stream and told you all, hey, just wait 1 week from the day Kelly Maxwell is going to be most outstanding player? You probably would have called me some names, mostly moron for thinking that. But that's why Patty's the GOAT. That's why she's the greatest head coach of all time. Not just the in-game adjustments that she makes, not the decisions that she makes like she did tonight. That talk that happened that we've talked about before, that got Kelly Maxwell in the right mind frame, the right mindset, and she was the biggest reason why OU won a championship because she was just absolutely dominant. Wow. In a former life, Mike White was a fart. Along came the wind, and he was just, All right, all the Mike White jokes tonight. Still some OU track and field athletes at nationals. I'm bringing a 5-bucket to the press conference and collecting Mike White's tears. I was worried when Keeney started and maybe was left an inning too late, but the GOAT proved me wrong, and I couldn't be happier to be. Hashtag Norman Conquest, hashtag Boomer Sooner. It is a great night. It's a great night for sure. And yes, it's going to be an emotional one when we start hearing and seeing comments from Patty Gasso on things. It's definitely going to get emotional, but for right now, it's all roses, baby. We'll get there when we get there here in about 20 minutes. It's all about the national championship. Jessica says, I did not have Keeney starting. Patty Gasso once again proved why she's the GOAT. I know some out there like, look, I trust Patty Gasso, and I'm not going to call her crazy because she's definitely deserved the benefit of the doubt. But what's going on here? There's one thing starting Carly Keeney, but then the graphic pops up during the game that Monticelli had pitched 2 2/3 in the last 2 months. 2 2/3 in the last 2 months. And she's getting in a game like this, a 2-1 game in the top of the third with the bases loaded and 2 outs. Are you kidding me? That's the situation Patty put Peyton Monticelli in, and you got the 3-2 ground out to first base, so it just worked out. It worked out, but it just felt like everyone was fantastic tonight. Just kind of going up and down the game here on the log. Hodge turns the big double play in the top of the first inning. I thought that was big. She had just a fantastic tournament. And I know a couple of mistakes tonight, but she had a fantastic tournament overall. Texas took that 1-0 lead on the bloop single in the top of the second, but this team responded. And it's what they've done all year. It's what they've done all tournament. It's what they've done their entire career. You know, Texas has the momentum, gets that 1-0 lead, but boom, Cassidy Pickering hits the Oppo bomb to make it a 2-1 game, and that wasn't even close. I mean, that one got out in a hurry. That was a mammoth bomb by Cassidy Pickering. Texas ties it up on the Alyssa Washington RBI in the top of the third inning, but and then they took the lead. In the top of the fourth inning, that 3-2 lead, but you never doubted it. You know, you just knew more runs were to come, and you kind of just had the feeling like, okay, here's Keeney giving you a couple of solid innings. There's Monticelli getting you out of a jam. Deal, if you can give us 1, maybe 2 decent innings, they're going to go to Nicole May and they're going to go to Kelly Maxwell to close this out. So just find a way to have a lead late, like going into the 6th inning, and you're going to feel really good about your chance to win this game. And that's exactly what happened. The 3-run double by Sid Sanders has to be the biggest play of the game, right? I think it's got to be. You're down 3-2 at the time. Brito, of course, Brito hits one of the track. Kinsey Hansen single. Pickering single. Boone gets the infield hit. She outruns the first baseman. And then Sid Sanders hits the 3-run double in the gap. That, to me, felt like the biggest play. And that was the moment where, okay, that's the moment that you're looking for at this point in the game. You can go to the top of the 5th inning, bring in Nicole May. She gives you 1 inning. She gives you 2 innings, whatever she gives you. You can turn it over to Kelly Maxwell late in this game and close this thing out. So there are so many big plays throughout this game and throughout this tournament. I'm just looking at Sid Sanders' 3-run double here to make it to 5-3. That was really the biggest moment of the game. But, of course, Hodge has the mistake in the top of the 6th inning, but then she does kind of the no-look pass to the first. Maybe that was the biggest play of the game, you know? I mean, that was certainly one of them when Hodge ends up getting the runner out at first base because Texas had a runner at third, and who knows if they get a hit there, the game may be tied. But Hodge makes that incredible play to get out of the inning. I don't know what Mia Scott was thinking there for Texas. I really have no idea, but I'm glad it happened, and you're glad it happened as well because it got OU out of the inning. And what was at the time a big momentum swing in the favor of Texas, it was all of a sudden a massive momentum swing back in the favor of Oklahoma. That crowd went crazy. That was supposed to be Texas' moment. That was supposed to be Texas' ability to kind of get back in this game and mount a rally to maybe tie or even take the lead. But just as soon as they got the momentum, you got it right back with the Avery Hodge play. Hey, and my biggest worry, criticism with this team for a while has been they've got to hit better with runners in scoring position. They have not done that consistently. They didn't do it early in this tournament. Like, you've got to be consistent with runners in scoring position. Kudos to this team because the 2 games in the championship series, the offense was awesome. The offense was awesome. 8 runs in both games. That's exactly what you're looking for. 8 runs in 2 games, and you had several big home runs last night. You had an inning last night where there were nobody on and 2 outs, and you end up getting a run out of that. But the inning that impressed me the most was the last half inning that this team got to hit this year. It's a 5-4 game. And it would have been really easy in the bottom of the 6th inning to say, okay, we'd like to add a run or 2, but we got Kelly Maxwell in the circle right now. 5-4, we'll just get it to the bottom of the 7th inning, and we'll just let Kelly shut them down. That offense, man, you talk about some insurance runs. It really felt over after the bottom of the 6th inning. Boone gets the single. Sid Sanders walks. Avery Hodge gets the hit by pitch. Bases loaded, 1 out. Jada gets the RBI. Then Ella Parker hits the RBI that gets 2 runs in. The fact that you got 3 runs in that bottom of the 6th inning, that was it. That was it. And that seriously took the pressure off Kelly Maxwell heading into the bottom of the 7th inning. I mean, it was just massive that you were able to give her a few more insurance runs going into the final frame. And look, I still think that she gets it done, even though it's 5-4. I think we're talking about a 5-4 game if they don't get those runs. But they did get those runs, those important insurance runs. And what I've been wanting to see them now for a while, they got those. Just fantastic, all of it. Fantastic, all of it. William, what you got? Good to see you in here. There's only one Oklahoma, and it ends in Oklahoma. Riley Boone said that. Oh, I love the spice. I love the spice. Gunny going with an inside joke. Hey, Tyler, just started watching OU softball. What time is the game? There ain't no game tomorrow, so I actually don't know the time and the date for the first time. But we're a long way away from the next OU game because they just won a national championship, and your next game will be a member of the SEC. OU softball is like Thanos, says Nemo. It's true. I mean, it's so true. Matthew says, what's Mike Wine going to use as an excuse this time? I predicted, I think, multiple times that there was going to be drama throughout the course of this series. And in terms of two great softball games, there was definitely drama. We'll see if Mike White conducts himself or not in the post-game press conference. We'll see if old boy has something to say about the home field advantage that he felt for the past 2 nights. I bet Teddy is on the stage at the Justin Timberlake concert twerking with his backup dancers right now. Don't want to see that. Snow angels and the confetti. Isn't it beautiful, Jessica? It really is beautiful. Next game, February of 2025. They won the last game. It's been a long, long time since OU has not won the last game, but they won the last game tonight, and they did it with 5 pitchers. 5 pitchers. I mean, I spent 40 minutes this morning. You guys are here with me in the comments. We spent about 40 minutes this morning talking about what was going to happen in the circle. I thought Nicole May would start. Some of you said, no, roll out Kelly Maxwell. Let's go with your best. Others thought, let's go Kirsten Deal. Let's go Nicole May. Nobody mentioned Carly Keeney, and no one mentioned the possibility of 5 pitchers tonight. Like, I would have guessed at the very most you would have seen 3 arms. Like, maybe Nicole May starts. KD, Kirsten Deal gives you an inning or 2. But then Kelly Maxwell closes this thing up. 5 pitchers I did not see. And how brilliant does Patty Gasso look right now? She's always looked brilliant. She's the GOAT, of course. But, man, like, that is a heck of a move to throw 5 pitchers, a championship series record. And all 5 performed well. That's the thing. It's not like 1 or 2 performed poorly or 1 performed poorly and the other pitchers had to bail them out. The offense had to bail them out. Like, Carly Keeney, for the spot that she was put in for not starting over a month, was great. Peyton Monticelli, I mean, your blood pressure went through the roof, but she got the out that she needed to. I thought Kirsten Deal was solid. Nicole May was awesome, and Kelly Maxwell was nails. 5 pitchers, and they all performed at a high level. Jen Rocha, guys. Jen Rocha. And I can't believe, it was a week ago where I got a text on our text line saying that Jen Rocha needed to be fired. How's that take looking right now? Huh? 5 pitchers against that Texas team that had all the momentum. Remember, Texas, let's go back to 2 days ago. Texas had all the momentum here. Or they at least had the advantage. They had the extra day off. They had the fresher pitching staff. They had the better pitching staff coming in this championship series. Who looked like the better pitching staff in the championship series? Looked like OU to me. I don't know what anyone else thinks, but everyone thought Texas had this massive edge in the circle going into the championship series. Oklahoma looked like the better staff to me in the championship series when it really mattered. Thank you to Kelly Maxwell. Thank you to Carly Keeney. Thank you to Peyton Monticelli. Thank you to Kirsten Deal. Thank you to Nicole May. And I love that Nicole May got to pitch tonight. And I'm about to go to more comments, so drop more in here. I just wanted to say this as well. I'm so happy for Nicole May tonight. I was really hoping in the game that OU clinched, she was going to get an opportunity, and her opportunity, she was going to pitch well. Nicole May deserves to go out on a high note, as does all of the other seniors on the squad. But Nicole May really deserved it, and here's why. Because Nicole May is one of the most underappreciated players of this entire 4-year run. I'm seriously. She had a, sub-1 ERA last year? And everyone at time, or a lot of people at times this year thought she stunk. She deserved to go out on a high note because she's been fantastic throughout her entire career, and yet she's never really been thought of as the ace. She could have transferred multiple times throughout her career. She could have been the ace somewhere. She could have been the number 2 somewhere. She could have pitched a lot more innings at another place other than Oklahoma. But she stayed here. She was always a part of the equation, always a fantastic teammate, always went about things the right way. She stayed here, and she's leaving with 4 rings. And I'm happy because in a day and age where if you're not the starter or you're not this or you're not that, it is so easy now just to hop in the portal and go somewhere else where you can be the number 1. You can be the true ace. She didn't do that. She stuck around here, and at times she didn't get to pitch a lot. I mean, there'd be 2 weeks' time where Nicole May's not getting a whole lot of starts, but she stuck it out here. She played her role. She was an excellent teammate. It's just awesome. Really happy for Nicole May. All the seniors, all the members of the program, but happy for her. There's only one Oklahoma. That's right, Scott. Thanks for hopping in, Scott. Good to hear from you. Sooner JJ says there's only one Oklahoma, and it is national champs. Brian says who didn't pitch. SJ Guerin didn't pitch, but by God, she was warming up early in that game. Like that, I don't know what that was. I don't know if SJ Guerin was seriously in any scenario was going to pitch tonight, but it was kind of funny in that game where, first off, because you're just totally thrown off. Like, I think for most OU fans tonight, regardless of who you thought was going to start, none of the 3 options really would have shocked you. If Kelly Maxwell started tonight, that wouldn't have surprised you. If Deal or May started tonight, like, oh, okay, whether you agree or disagree with it, it wouldn't necessarily have shocked you. Carly Keeney shocked you tonight that she was starting. And then early in the game, they panned the bullpen, and there's SJ Guerin warming up. You're like, what is going on right now? What is going on right now? And hey, based on the way that the other pitchers performed tonight, SJ may have given you an inning tonight of shutout softball. May have happened. Mike White playing checkers, Gasso playing chess, says C-Man 2. She's always playing chess. Jennifer Rocha needs a raise, 100%. I hope she never leaves. Jessica says, what would happen if these seniors didn't win? I guess we'll never know. I guess we'll never know, Jessica. That is a conversation I'm glad I am not having with you on this night. But I do, Jessica, I got a question for you. I got a question for everyone that's in the chat or watching right now. And this is a little bit in the moment, so it might be a little bit of a biased answer, but just with everything that was said about this team, and again, you weren't a bad fan for being critical about this team this year. They deserved criticism at times. Again, Patty Gasso even said at one point that this team's not good enough to win a national championship. But with everything that went into this year, the series loss to Texas, series loss to Oklahoma State, the doubt more than most years that this team was going to get it done, whatever, how does this championship feel to the previous 3? They've just won 4 in a row, but how does this title, the 4th one, feel compared to the other 3 that you've won? Does it feel the best? Does it feel the 4th best? Somewhere in the middle? I'm curious to how you guys kind of view this national championship compared to the others. And regardless of where it ranks, it's awesome. It's amazing. But I tend to think it might be number 1 because it's the final chapter of this historic senior class that we'll always remember. It was against Texas. It is the best rivalry in the sport going on right now. It is the individual that OU softball fans dislike more than any other individual right now in the game. So there's just like a lot of reasons I could point to. It's in the moment, and maybe I'll change my opinion in a few weeks' time. But as of right now, I think this national championship feels better than the previous 3, just because of who you beat, Just everything that went into that, the final ride for these seniors, they're all awesome. They're all great. I mean, none of them sucked or stunk or took for granted or anything like that. Like it's a fun list to come up with, but yeah, this one felt good tonight. This one felt good because you just wanted to cap this run off the right way with this legendary class. And they went through a lot of ups and downs this year, breaking in a new stadium, the difficulties, the challenges with that. But man, just great. Nicole has been a rock for 3 seasons. So true. May is definitely one of the most underrated players in OU history. Yeah, Gunny, let me revise what I just said because good point. She's not one of the most underrated players in this 4-year run. She's one of the most underrated players in OU softball history. You're right. Thank you for that. Stephen Easley says Boomer Sooner. Welcome in, Stephen. Kinsey Hansen, greatest Sooner of all time. Whoa, Brian. That's pretty tough. A lot of good players on that list. I did an OU Mount Rushmore. I was bored on Sunday because OU wasn't playing. So I spent like 3 hours doing a video of the OU Mount Rushmore, who I think is on it. So it's in my past videos if you want to check that out. Caleb Witten says OU football needs to win number 8. Patty Gasso needs to help Venables. Patty Gasso, defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator, whatever. Just get her on the staff. Sooner JJ. Sorry, Sooner JJ. I agree with you on May. She deserved to pitch, especially after not pitching in the championship series last year. And maybe this will get people to shut the hell up on their, and change their opinion a little bit on Nicole May. Like, God, I even saw opinions today. Well, I'll feel really good as long as Nicole May doesn't pitch. Dude, she's won like 60 games in her entire career. Her ERA was like a 1.27. I mean, her numbers are incredible. Like, it kind of pissed me off today that people were so negative towards Nicole May and thinking that she's awful and couldn't get the job done today. How's that feel now? Nicole May was awesome tonight. Scott says a month ago it was questionable. Would they even make it to the WCWS? This one feels the best. To me, Maxwell transferring is the cherry on top. Oh, yeah. How are OSU fans feeling right now? Kelly Maxwell just won a national championship, but more importantly, she was the most outstanding player in the championship series. Probably not the most fun night for an Oklahoma State fan when you see it that way. That Kelly Maxwell, your former pitcher, essentially carried OU in the circle to a national championship. Man. The Jada walk-off, this one feels like it was for them. It was gritty and human. Yeah, no, I think that's a good word to use, Jessica. Gritty. And I don't know if like individual words, if you would want to use that throughout other championship runs, but gritty is a great way to describe this season's national championship because they had to be gritty, man. They had to be really gritty against Florida. They had to be gritty tonight. This wasn't last year. This wasn't last year where you just said, all right, Jordy, go win us a championship. Go do it. We know you're going to do it. And you're the best player in the field. Just go ahead and go win us a national championship. You had to grind this one out. You had to have a lot of gritty. That's the perfect word to use, Jessica. That's a great word. It took a lot of grit to win that Florida game a couple of days ago. It took a lot of grit to win this game tonight in the circle. And the offense helped you out 16 runs in the past 2 games. Texas had allowed 0 runs coming in this championship series. They're feeling really good about their pitching staff. And you basically hit every pitcher that they had really hard throughout the entire series. So kudos to the offense for sure. They found their best offense when they needed to at the most important time. So kudos to them for sure. But you were so gritty in the circle. And Kelly Maxwell was gritty. Kelly Maxwell's start was gritty against Florida a couple of days ago. I think that's a great word to use. Nemo says, my favorite being from Hawaii was the Jocelyn Allo senior year. Yeah, beat Texas that year too, huh? And thanks for, I don't know if you're tuning in all the way from Hawaii, but thanks, regardless of where you are, Nemo, for tuning in tonight. Yeah, when Allo goes out to left field and they hit the first 2 balls to her in left field, like we'll just send Allo out there for the first 2 outs, and then after the second out, we'll give her like a curtain call to the dugout. Well, they actually hit the ball to her twice, and she made both plays. That was awesome. Brett says, amazing. These seniors have never lost a title, a ring for every year. It's insane. And maybe it hasn't fully, like we appreciate it in real time. And we know just how rare that it is. But I wonder just over the years and over time, if we look back and just say, oh my gosh, man, how did they do that? How did they do that when the sport is at its most difficult? Like There's been great runs in the sport before. UCLA's had some great runs in the past. Arizona's had some great runs in the past. But the sport is more competitive than it's ever been. Ever. And it's only getting better from here. But the power has shifted from the West Coast to the Southeast. The SEC is the best conference out there. The ACC is a really good conference. The Big Ten even plays some pretty good softball as well. The competition is as deep as it's ever been. Transfer portal, NIL, that was a massive shift on the way that we were going about things throughout the course of history. So all these things changed in the sport. The sport essentially did a complete 180 over the course of the past 10 years, 5 years, 8 years, whatever timeline you want to go with. But there's been one constant in the sport throughout all the change. And that's OU dominating and OU winning championships. And that's just an incredible testament for Patty being able to pivot, Patty being able to change. You're so good, and you go about things the right way. They built it the right way. It can sustain any type of change. The sport has changed. College sports in general have changed dramatically over 5 years, unlike we've ever seen. But college softball was in that as well, and OU rolled with the punches, and they still figured out a way every single year to win a championship. It's awesome. John says, gosh, 5 pitchers. Gasso is a mad genius. Boomer. I know she is a mad genius. 5 pitchers, and they all pitched well. My favorite was last year watching Jordy roll, says William. Nicole has maybe 2 conference losses. Crimson Owen says May is literally a top 10 pitcher in program history. Yeah, she might be. Like statistically, I bet that she is a top 10 pitcher in program history. So that's a good point. And maybe just with the eye test and how good she is. But no, you're right. And yet, because they didn't have Jordy Ball this year, some people thought that she stunk and Maxwell wasn't any good. Guys, they lost Jordy Ball, outside Nyjah Kennedy, maybe the best pitcher that college softball had last year. She was the Women's College World Series most outstanding player. You lost her. She was on her way, by the way. You think Nicole May is a top 10 pitcher in program history? I think I would agree with that without really looking through the numbers historically. But Jordy Ball was on her way to being the number 1 pitcher in program history if she would have stayed for a couple of more years and continued on the trajectory that she was on. So you lost that. And you lost that suddenly. It was unplanned. Okay? Then you lost Jocelyn Erickson. And all she was this year was the SEC Player of the Year and a player that hit 2 home runs against you in back-to-back days. Then you lost Alex Storako. And then you lost Grace Lyons, the greatest shortstop in OU history. They lost all of this. And maybe you can argue this team lost more last year than maybe any OU softball team ever. When you think about where Jordy Ball was headed, Erickson, SEC Player of the Year, everything else. And guess what they did? They won a freaking national championship again, and they swept through the championship series. They didn't lose a game in the championship series against the top seed. Man, it's just impressive, guys. I mean, what they lost, they continue to roll with the punches, and they always find a way. It's awesome. Jacob Roller. What's up, Jake? Tyler, buddy, you asked how this one feels. This team woke up. Kelly Maxwell woke up. The offense woke up, and we have been waiting for this all year. At least I have. Yeah, live in the moment, be present for this because it is, it is fantastic. And you beat Mike White. You had to beat Mike White. You know, you couldn't lose to Mike White. These seniors couldn't go out by losing to that dork. That would have been awful. It would have been terrible. Imagine sitting here right now losing to that guy. Losing to anyone would have been tough, but losing to Texas of all teams and the narrative that would have spun out of that, Texas, you're good. You're a good softball program. But there's one thing that you can't do. You can't beat OU and Oklahoma City or in the championship series when it matters. Nicole May's been clutch. 60 wins with a career ERA of 1.68 for Nicole May. I think I said 1.27, but 1.68 is, thanks for looking that up, Gunny. That's amazing. Don't cry for OSU. They'll always have Bedlam. Oh, their season ended that night, right? Their season ended right that night. Brett says our Kenny G doesn't need to transfer. Wonder why Kelly transferred. Jacob says, but we are 4-peat champions. This was tenacious. This was grit. Patty is the GOAT. Boomer. Sooner JJ, Patty's strategy for pitching was perfect. Kept Texas bats from getting into a rhythm. Yeah. It just worked out perfectly. And they won the game. So this whole conversation doesn't matter. But really, I think the point tonight, or at least the hope and the expectation, because realistically, Was Carly Keeney going to give you 6 innings of shutdown softball and you were only going to allow 1 or 2 runs the entire night? Probably not. I mean, that's pretty unfair expectations for Carly Keeney tonight for her to give you like 6, 7 innings or anything like that. I think the hope tonight was exactly what you got, and that's why it seems so genius right now. The hope was, okay, Carly Keeney, give us a couple of innings, and we're right there in this game. Peyton Monticelli, we might call on you for a certain situation. Let's just hope that we're right there in this game. Kirsten Deal will be in a good spot when we bring her in. Hand it over to Cole May where we got the lead or it's a tie softball game. Like, that's what you were hoping for. You were hoping to get to this thing in the 6th or the 7th inning with the lead, tied, close game, whatever, and then you bring in your 2 big arms and you close this thing out. Because look at the pitching matchup tonight, guys. Carly Keeney versus Mac Morgan. Mac Morgan had lost like 1 game the entire year. Carly Keeney hadn't started a game in a month. On paper, Texas had the pitching edge, and it wasn't even close. They had a massive pitching edge tonight. But that was it. Just hold on. Hold the rope. Hold on till we get this thing late in the game. Offense, do what you need to do to get us a lead, and we'll get Nicole May and we'll get Kelly Maxwell in this thing, and we'll close it out. But even if it wouldn't have worked out, you still would have had a fresh Kelly Maxwell tomorrow. And guess what, guys? If they play a game 3 tomorrow, they're going to beat Texas in a 3-game series. I wish we could play it just so I would have something to do tomorrow night. But whatever, I'll celebrate the championship tonight. It worked out perfectly. The plan worked out perfectly, and you give Patty Gasso all the credit in the world, but you've got to give credit to these pitchers. You've got to. And give credit to Kelly Maxwell for coming in a closing situation, yeah. Give credit to Nicole May for coming in a relief situation and performing the way that she did. Yes, give credit to Kirsten Deal for being the 3rd pitcher in. But, man, you hadn't pitched that much in the past month, the past 2 months for Monticelli. Give a hell of a lot of credit to Carly Keeney and Peyton Monticelli for their number was called tonight. You never know when your number is going to get called, and you don't think if it's been called in a while that it's going to be in the clinching game of a national championship. Their number were called tonight, and they all performed well. All the credit in the world. All the credit in the world. And, yeah, Senator JJ, the strategy for pitching was perfect, but you got to give a ton of credit for the pitchers that executed tonight. Because here's the deal. If those pitchers don't execute tonight, I bet there's a lot of people in this chat right now really stunned about the decision that Patty Gasso made. So her pitchers made her look right, made her look smart. The offense made her look right tonight. Well, Ella and Cassidy put together their own 4-peat. I mean, maybe. For whatever reason, like it feels like it's some end of the road, and it is with the senior class, and they've got some players to replace, but I'm never going to doubt this program, that's for sure. I mean, I'm kind of living in the moment right now and celebrating right now. But I mean, if you even want to take a peek to next year, I don't know. Not doubting them. Not going to doubt them. What if during the press conference someone asked the seniors, what's it like? Someone needs to do that. Jerry says, I'm heading out. Love you, Jerry. Good to see you. God bless you, buddy. Love it. Andy says, with this senior class leaving, it almost feels like the streak ends and we start again. I bet, like I just said, Andy, I mean, who are we to doubt this program? This program just threw 2 pitchers we never even thought would see the field in the Women's College World Series, and they performed at a high level. I mean, they don't need to be good enough to win a national championship in February. They need to be good enough to win a national championship next June. So we'll see what happens for sure. Bishop Frank says, hashtag Sooners never flinch for Pete. Great hashtag. Thank you for hopping in, by the way. They never flinched. You're so right. And you know what, Bishop Frank? Thank you for saying that, because it just sparked an idea for me. I'm going to play you guys something, and just know that after this was said, OU didn't flinch and they didn't lose a game for the rest of the series or for the rest of the time.
That the Sooners play best after we get punched in the mouth. That's what I've learned this season.
One more time.
That the Sooners play best after we get punched in the mouth. That's what I've learned this season.
Remember when they got punched in the mouth by Florida? They really got punched in the mouth. They lost handily to Florida. And guess what they did? They didn't flinch. A lot of teams would flinch. A lot of teams would have gotten nervous. Oh, you got punched in the mouth, and they came back and they didn't lose another game the rest of the tournament. And they got down early the next day, but they never flinched. I like that hashtag, Bishop Frank. That's really good. That's really good. Jessica says they are legends. They will now be graphics. People are compared to, not UCLA. Oh, yeah. Graphics people are compared to, not UCLA. Yeah. The side-by-side that we saw with the senior class in UCLA, that's a really good point, Jessica. I hadn't thought of that. Is now this is the standard. this is the bar. This is the elite of the elites. If someone ever goes on any sort of a run again that's historic, hint, it's probably going to be Oklahoma if it is. But the graphic that pops up won't be UCLA teams of the past. It'll be this Oklahoma senior class that we're comparing to. How many games they won, conference championships, national championships, like All-Americans, all of that. That's a fantastic point. I hadn't thought about that, but I like that. Even Sooner JJ says they'll be the standard teams will be measured by. You should tweet that out, Jessica. That's good if you haven't already. Nemo says, Tyler, I have to go. Look forward to hearing from you. Locked up with Parker Thune. Yeah. And I'm going to be on here probably tomorrow morning as well at 9 a.m. because I don't know if I'm going to sleep tonight. Probably not. I debated maybe having a glass of bourbon to celebrate tonight, but I opted not to tonight. Just a little bit of a championship celebration. But be back here 9 a.m. tomorrow morning and be talking about, the excitement that was tonight. Legendary team. Yep, legendary team. This won't be thought of as the greatest team of all time, like last year's team and the team before it, but who cares? They won a national championship. Last year's team lost one game the entire year, and that was awesome too. But this year's team, I think, will always hold a special place in your heart, just for the adversity that they faced, because OU hadn't faced adversity like this in a regular season in a long time. And they overcame it. It sucked. Losing to both Texas and Oklahoma State in a series, same time in a season, that was awful. That was terrible. Feels like a distant memory now. Felt terrible losing that Saturday game to Oklahoma State, knowing that you just lost the series on your home field, the seniors' final weekend. It is awful. It was terrible. Won the national championship. So who cares about that now? Overcame adversity. Got hot when you needed to. Played your best ball when you needed to. Look on Mike White's face during this press conference is priceless. Oh, sweet. Yeah, I need to go check that out. I'll be having a victory smoke after lunch. I don't doubt that. One bit. You guys are awesome. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you'd like to join me tomorrow morning to continue on the celebration, by all means, right around 9 a.m., I'm going to be on. I'll go ahead and schedule that stream if you want to hop on. But I'll stay in here a couple more minutes in case anyone else in here wants to drop a couple of more comments in here, but it's all the good vibes for sure. And I just kind of want to go down my game log here to try and find anything else that really stuck out. Avery Hodge is just fantastic. I mean, I know that she made a couple of mistakes defensively, but man, you find players in this tournament that really rise to the occasion, and you can tell like they're ready to make that next step and be a big time elite player next year. Avery Hodge looks like that player. Feels like Avery Hodge is going to be a starter, second base, wherever she's at, but she's super fun to watch. And Riley Boone for so long has just given you so many let's go exciting moments, just pumps you up. And Avery Hodge is not as like loud as Riley Boone is. She doesn't stomp around as much, but she's going to be that type of player throughout her career. She's going to be that type of player. Kelly Maxwell, what do you say? 1 year as a Sooner, transferred from Oklahoma State. But she'll have a special place. She'll have a special place in OU history. She'll be beloved around here forever. Will probably never pay for a meal in Norman. She should never pay for a meal in Norman ever again after what she did this week. Now the reality's starting to set in that we don't get to watch a softball game tomorrow. This kind of sucks. Are we sure we can't play another softball game tomorrow? We can't play someone? Is like Florida still in town? We can run it back with them? Maybe. Andy says, G. Juarez, Mackenzie Donahue, Jordy Ball, Avery Hodge have each gotten red hot in OKC and brought home a natty. Mm-hmm. Totally. G. Juarez did it. Mackenzie Donahue did it. She was kind of the big story a few years ago when they won it. Avery Hodge, she'll be a big name next year, and you can make a big name for yourself in this tournament. We're losing a lot of household names, a lot of recognizable names, but you're going to look to kind of fill in those names next year, and those names will be Cassidy Pickering. Those names will be Ella Parker. Those names will be Avery Hodge. I mean, you're going to have some recognizable names after what they did in this tournament. Cassidy Pickering was amazing. Cassidy Pickering was so good. You're not supposed to do this as a freshman. You're not supposed to play at this level as a freshman. Nobody told her, and I'm glad nobody told her. And nobody told Ella Parker either. Run it back tomorrow, alumni game. God, see, you come up with so many good ideas, Jessica. Jeez. Alumni game, that's what I'm talking about. If I'm drafting first, by the way, I mean, golly, who do you even pick? I didn't see Lauren Chamberlain out there. I think she may be out of town. But Shay Knighton's going to give you a clutch hit or two. I'd show up for that. Hell, I'd spend as much money on a ticket to that tomorrow as I would for how much tickets we're going for tonight. All right, that's going to wrap it up. As always, appreciate you guys, all the comments, all the shares on Twitter for the Diamond Envy podcast. That's awesome. What a fun year. What a fun year. What an amazing year. It is capped off by a national championship, 4th consecutive, 8th in program history. Awesome. Awesome. Only thing that would be made this win better, Hanson hitting a grand slam in the 6th for the run rule win. Yeah, okay, that's a good one. I had that written down. Could have run ruled. Yeah, and people were unclear about that rule. You can actually run rule now in the championship series, a.k.a. the Mike White rule. That's what I call it, right? Because it happened because of him. The rule got changed. But that would have been really cool. But Kelly Maxwell getting to close it out in the bottom of the 7th was awesome as well. All right. Appreciate you guys as always. Talk to you tomorrow morning. Like and subscribe if you haven't already. We got a lot of off-season softball content to do, a lot of football content to do on this page. Talk to you tomorrow.